Welcome to day 4. Today is Yin Yoga day. If you've never done Yin Yoga, don't worry, I'll be explaining as we go along. If you have, this is a short practice that you can fit in perhaps in the morning or perhaps in the evening if you want to wind down. So we're gonna start. I have my timer here, so that's why I'm using this because I like. We're holding the poses. I like to keep an eye on the time, especially if we're doing poses on two sides. So first of all, we're going to be holding the poses between 90 seconds, between a bit more than a minute and a couple of minutes. Usually we would hold them up to 5 or even 10 minutes sometimes. Today, not so long. The first pose is butterfly. So bring your feet to touch and straighten your back up. Put the timer and then just simply allow your head to roll forward. So we don't want to do any force. So I'm letting my hands to drop and just let my head to drop. Now we're not going to be using props today, but as you can see, I have a cushion and a towel, a blanket next to me. So you can always sit on the cushion to help you roll forward easier. You can have a block here under your head or build a little support with your cushions, or like I like to do sometimes, use your hands to hold your head. So choose where you like to be and then make a resolution to remain still for the next minute. Letting go of any tension, letting go of any pressure, letting go of any pulling or pushing. Just dropping into the pose. Using the breath to find perhaps a bit more space. Just breathe and relax. Head is heavy. Again, if you find any pain, you've gone too far. So in Yin Yoga, we want to find that edge, the place where you find sensation, perhaps even a strong sensation, but no pain. Just a couple more seconds here. Take a big inhale and then opening your mouth, let it go, softening even more into the pose. Relaxing even more into the pose. And then with the help of your hands, vertebra by vertebra, as you inhale, start coming up. Taking care in the way you come up. Breathe, stay upright for a moment, just enjoying the sensation. And now we're going to do half butterfly. So open the left leg. The right foot comes closer to your groin. Doesn't have to be too open. Just turn your torso towards the extended leg and fold forward. And again, this can be quite restorative. And for instance, in other modalities of yoga, you might grab your foot. And here, you want to do the opposite. Just allow your head to be heavy, come towards the knee. The hands are just resting on the floor like we did earlier. And again, you can perhaps put some props to hold your head here. It can be cushions, it can be blankets, it can be blocks, or it can be your own hands. Just soften into the pose and breathe. So you want to remain still in the pose for a longer period of time, usually. And you would move out of the pose if you find pain. Or if you find suddenly more space and you think that your body is allowing you to go a bit deeper. This is a really deep conversation between you and your body, your physical sensations, and sometimes even your mind. Your mind might be wanting you to move, to fidget, to scratch yourself. So observe that. Just tell yourself, I'll remain still. for the next few seconds and see what your mind does. Your mind has a tendency to get bored, perhaps, and wants you to move, to do things. It's trying to protect you. But your job is to just be in the pose. Nothing to do, nowhere to go, no movement. And the next inhale, you're going to come up. Slowly, 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 taking your time. Come up for a moment and then just change the position of the legs. We're going to do the other side. Turn your torso towards the extended leg and then again just drop your head forward. It might feel very different on one side than the other. So let's not assume that because in one side we felt one sensation, we're going to feel the same in the other. So this is when we start noticing the different subtle differences between the two sides, left and right of our body. And we start to honor them and just go into the position as if it was completely new, as if you've never been here before. Even if you've done it in this side many other times before, always come into the yin positions with care, with awareness, with curiosity. How do I feel? How does it feel to be still? And just focusing on the sensations in the body. Breathe. And then once again, using the arms as you inhale, come up, coming up, slowly, slowly. Finding again the center line. Just thank you for a moment. And you're just gonna now go flop yourself down, belly down. Okay, we're gonna go for a Sphinx Pose. It's one of my favorites. It's really good for your lower back, for your back in general, and for your posture. Okay, so there's different ways to do it. You want to have your forearms on the floor, but you can also have them on a cushion or something else. So today we're going to do this simpler version. And here it's important that you know that you can graduate, find the different graduation, find different sensations. And so if this is too uncomfortable and your lower back finds too much pressure, bring the elbows a bit further away from your shoulders, a bit further away, and you can measure where you want them. You can be as low as this or even as low as this, okay? The hips are heavy, the legs are heavy and relaxed. Glutes are relaxed. And you can choose where to be, and then once you've chosen, make the resolution to remain still. And my shoulders are underneath my elbows are underneath my shoulders. Not more than that, because this is doing nothing for you. And breathe. And the same with the legs. You can decide if you want them closer or a bit more farther apart. Like keep them almost wider than my hips, quite wide. Relax your shoulders, relax your facial muscles. Noticing your breath, perhaps noticing your breath against the floor. Relaxing your shoulders, your face. And then very slowly come down. You can rest the forehead on the floor. You can rest the forehead on your hands. Stay here for a moment, just finding the reverse of the pose, the bounce back. Noticing your body, how is it feeling after holding the pose? And then just place your hands, start coming up, coming up, coming up. And come up into a closed child pose. So you can bring the knees as close as you want. Forehead to the floor, or you can have the forehead on your arms or on your hands again. Or you can even have the hands behind you. Stay here for a moment, just a minute. Strictly speaking, we're not going to stay here for as long as we would stay, like in a yin class. I'm using this as a transition between Sphinx we've just done. And now the next one, which is turning around and lying down on the floor. So turn around and lie down on the floor. Coming down with care. Come to the floor and bring the right knee towards your chest. Give it a little bit of a squeeze and then guide that right knee towards your left. We're going to do a twist. So extend the right arm and the right knee goes in the opposite direction. You can place a pillow or a block or something underneath the knee and trying to keep the right shoulder anchored on the floor. That knee doesn't need to reach the floor. And again, there's nothing for you to do. Just let your own body weight and the force of gravity to do all the work for you here. You can rest your hand lightly on the knee again. Do not push or pull, just perhaps the weight of the hands, allowing the body to open a bit more, but there's nothing you need to do. Breathe. And the head, you can keep the nose pointing to the ceiling. Or if you want to deepen the stretch, because here we're stretching the lumbars, the lower back. If you want to extend the stretch to the neck as well, you can look in the opposite direction towards the right hand. Again, it's up to you. See how the neck feels. And perhaps your body starts opening a bit and your knees starts to get closer to the floor. Perhaps not. Just breathe. There is no pose to achieve here. Relax, let go. And then very gently, if you were looking towards the right hand, bring the head back and then start bringing the knee up again. Both feet flat on the floor. Allow your body to go to the center line again. Stay for a moment with the feet quite wide as the mat, and the knees just then falling towards each other. This is called Constructive Rest. It's a great pose as well to find rest sometimes if you don't want to do Shavasana. Just the knees are supporting each other in this pose. Your lower back is resting. Take a big inhale, let it go, and then let's go for the other side. Extend the right leg, bring the left knee towards your chest, give it a little squeeze, and now just gently guide that left knee towards your right side. And again, you see I'm not forcing my knee to come closer to the floor. It stays wherever it wants to stay. Just keeping the left shoulder perhaps anchored to the floor, hip above hip. And just let gravity and the weight of your own body to do the work. You can put something underneath this knee, or you can put your hand on top. But again, without pushing or pulling. And again, when you're happy and comfortable here and you know you can remain in stillness, just settle in the pose and make the resolution to be still, no fidgeting, no moving. Perhaps your neck, one last little twist here with your neck looking in the opposite direction as the knee. And relax. Just being in the pose, no need to do anything, just be, just let your breath guide you. Doing nothing sometimes is the hardest thing to do. Just get out of your own way, get out of trying to control the pose, just let your body settle. And then very gently, once again, bring the head back. Bring the knee back up. And if you've been doing this in the morning, this is a great practice to start opening the body in the morning. I would say perhaps not go into Shavasana, just go into the constructive rest for a moment again. If you're doing this in the evening and you are doing this to help you fall asleep, to help you relax after work, you can come into Shavasana. So extending the arms, Shavasana is like the corpse pose. So extend the legs as wide as you like to, the arms as well, quite far away from your body, palms facing up. And again, just let gravity, let the weight of your own body to do all the work. You can stay here for a minute. Softening. You can stay here for as long as you want. You can pause the video if you want and really stay for a while. If you're doing this in the morning, so to avoid falling asleep, again, especially after Yin, then just with the feet flat on the floor, roll to one side and come to a seated position. Come to your seated position, finding an upright seated position comfortable for your back, cross legs, or any comfortable seated position. Shoulders relax, back straight and upright. How will you feel now? Just go inward. How do you feel physically, mentally, emotionally? Again, if you're doing this in the morning, how do you want the rest of the day to be? Knowing that you can access this place of stillness anytime, this place of calm anytime you want, just through the breath. Take a big inhale deep into your belly, and then exhale by opening your mouth, letting it go, and open your eyes. Thank you so much. We've done day 4. I hope to see you tomorrow for day 5. Well done.